Of course! Based on the powerful imagery in the video, here is a 5-scene story about the dragon, along with detailed image prompts you could use to create similar art for each scene. The story of Ignis, the sky's heart the stirring. For 1,000 years, the great dragon Ignis had slumbered, coiled in the heart of the volcanic peak known as the world's tooth. He was not merely a creature of flesh and scale, but a living embodiment of the planet's core heat and strength. His sleep had been deep, but now a tremor from the world of men, a great imbalance, a spreading shadow disturbed his rest. The last rays of the setting sun, bleeding across the sky, acted as a final alarm. His internal fire began to churn, and with a low rumble that shook the mountain, his eyes, like twin pools of molten gold, snapped open. The awakening, now fully awake, Ignis stood upon his perch as seen in the first moment of the video. The fire at his feet was not a campfire, but a direct vent from the volcano's heart, his source of power. He stretched his vast, leathery wings, feeling the pull of the evening air against their sun-warmed membranes. He tasted the wind, sensing the direction of the corruption he had felt in his slumber. It was a cold, lifeless blight growing in the north. He drew in a deep breath, his chest glowing from within as he gathered his strength, his gaze fixed on the horizon. He was the world's ancient guardian, and his duty called. The ascent, with a single, colossal push from his powerful hind legs, Ignis launched himself from the pinnacle. The rock beneath him fractured and groaned under the immense force of his departure. As shown in the video, he vaulted into the sky, his long, serpentine body uncoiling with grace and power. His wings, each as large as a ship's sail, caught the wind with a sound like tearing thunder, propelling him upward in a maelstrom of ash and embers. For a moment, he was a creature of both earth and sky, a living comet of fire and shadow against the dying light. The Sky Reaver's journey, clear of the mountain, Ignis began his journey north. He flew not with frantic haste, but with the relentless, continent-spanning pace of an ancient power. He soared over jagged, moonlit mountain ranges that looked like broken teeth below him, and crossed vast, dark forests whose trees reached for him like desperate hands. The air grew colder, and the land below began to show signs of the blight patches of gray, lifeless decay that did not belong. The clouds beneath him swirled, and the aurora borealis began to dance ahead, not in its usual greens and blues, but in sickly shades of purple and gray, heralding the corruption he sought to cleanse. The confrontation, Ignis arrived to find a valley shrouded in an unnatural, creeping twilight. The source of the blight was a great, crystalline shard of shadow, pulsing with a dark energy that leached the life from the very soil. Without hesitation, the great dragon dove from the heavens. He opened his maw, but it was not shadow or mundane flame that erupted forth. It was a torrent of pure, concentrated starlight and sunfire, the essence of the world's life-giving energy. He became a beacon of golden and white light, a storm of righteous fire aimed at the heart of the darkness, determined to cauterize the world's wound and restore the balance. The stirring epic fantasy digital painting, extreme close-up on the head of a colossal sleeping dragon inside a dark volcanic cave. One of its eyes is just cracking open, revealing a glowing molten gold iris. Veins of glowing magma run along the obsidian rock walls around it, casting a dim, red ambient light. Wisps of smoke curl from its nostrils. Moody, atmospheric, highly detailed scales and rock textures. Cinematic lighting. The awakening epic fantasy art. A magnificent and powerful dragon standing on the peak of a sharp volcanic mountain. The dragon has dark blue-gray scales and massive, leathery wings the color of a fiery sunset. It stands in a powerful, grounded pose, surveying its domain. At its feet, the rocky peak glows with embers and fire. The background is a dramatic sunset sky with brilliant orange, red, and dark purple clouds. Low-angle shot to emphasize scale, cinematic lighting, hyper-detailed, trending on ArtStation. The Ascent action-packed fantasy illustration of a massive dragon launching into flight from a mountain peak. Dynamic pose, wings powerfully unfurled, hind legs pushing off the summit, shattering rock and sending embers and ash flying into the air. The dragon's long, serpentine tail whips through the air. The scene is backlit by a dramatic sunset. Motion blur on the wingtips to convey speed, high energy, cinematic, particle effects. The Sky Reaver's Journey epic landscape fantasy art. A majestic dragon soaring high above a vast, snow-capped mountain range under a twilight sky. A sickly purple and green aurora borealis dances on the horizon. The dragon is viewed from a distance to emphasize the immense scale of the world. Moonlight glints off its scales. Below, ancient forests are draped in shadow. Sense of cold, distance, and purpose. Wide-angle, atmospheric, cinematic. The confrontation dynamic battle scene, a massive dragon hovering in a dark, lighted valley, unleashing a torrent of brilliant, pure golden and white fire from its mouth. The landscape below is dead and covered in black, thorny, crystalline structures. The dragon's fire is the primary light source, creating harsh, dramatic shadows and brightly illuminating the scene in a clash of light versus dark. High contrast, intense particle effects sparks, disintegrating shadow, epic fantasy, high-stakes conflict.